Hey, I'm Krista Wax with Right on Radio, and I am so excited. I have author Josh Moehling here with me. Hello.
Hi, Krista. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Josh?
I'm great, thank you.
It is so fun to be chatting with you. I've run into you at many author events.
Yeah, we have. I was excited. I didn't know it was you when I got the invitation, and then I saw your profile picture, and I was like, "Oh wait, I know who that is."
To me.
Krista from all the book events.
Yes, exactly. So we're here. We can talk about the book events later, but
Yeah,
the primary goal, we want to talk about your book series, Ben Packard. You're three books in.
yeah,
Long Time Gone is the most recent one.
it is.
Wow, just tell us about the book. If you want to start about the book or the series at a glance.
Yeah, so I'm writing a series. As you mentioned, there's three books already. I can't, sometimes I have to pinch myself. I can't believe how quickly I went from an aspiring author to having three books in the world. It just seems like it's been overnight almost. But it's a series that's set in a small town in northern Minnesota, and the main character is Ben Packard, who is the super short elevator pitch is he's a gay man working in law enforcement in rural Minnesota. That's kind of the unique spin on kind of on this crime genre that I'm working on or working in. He was a cop in Minneapolis before he came to Sandy Lake. That's the name of the town. And he actually grew up in this small town, or he knows this small town from his childhood because his grandparents had a home on a lake there, and they spent their summers and holidays in Sandy Lake until one Christmas when Ben Packard was about 10 or 11 years old, when his brother um, when it snuck out of the house in the middle of the night on a snowmobile and never came home again. And they found the snowmobile fallen through the ice in the lake, but they never found a body. And so when the first book starts, it's 30 years later, and Ben Packard is kind of new in town, and he's a sheriff's deputy. And all these books kind of stand alone. They each have their own case that he's working on, usually a murder. And but there's an arc over these first three books where now that he's back in Sandy Lake and in the sheriff's department, he can look kind of into what they knew and didn't know when they were looking for his brother 30 years ago. And so in each book, he gets a little bit closer and a little bit closer. And then in the third book, which is coming out in paperback on November 11th, he finally finds out what happened to his brother all those years ago.
I've really enjoyed these books, and I can attest that they are standalone because I accidentally jumped in on two and didn't realize there was a first one. And second one, all three of them are so great, and I really enjoy the depth of Ben Packard and that he is in law enforcement and he is a gay man, and just how, I mean, that is just who he is. It's not like we don't need to, dive deeper into, oh, he is, but it's so fascinating, and it's just like he's such a great character.
Thank you.
He just has a lot to him, and I'm so happy with the series.
It's been fun writing him. It's been fun seeing him grow over these first three books. And, in the beginning, in the first book, he thinks he's got a big secret. He thinks he's kept his sexuality a secret from these people in this small town. And his desire is really just to be seen as a sheriff's deputy, and that's it. And he's got this other tragedy in his life that he's still kind of dealing with. And it's really not a spoiler to say that he has no secrets. Everybody knows his business, in which he realizes by the end of the first book. And so once he realizes he doesn't have any secrets, then he more has the kind of ability to be himself. And I think he really grows over these first three books and kind of comes in to himself and starts building a life for himself in this small town.
Yeah, I really have enjoyed, yeah, just some of these, I don't know, it's challenges, it's the murders he's trying to solve, it's the overarching story in the background about his brother as well that's just so compelling, and it's just such a good mix of everything that's wonderful with mysteries and thrillers. So it's always just keeps me glued in.
Oh, I love to hear that. Thank you.
And are there, I think you may have mentioned this before, but are there more Ben Packard books coming or?
Yes, there are. The fourth one is written. It'll be out in May. There's a little sneak preview in the paperback of A Long Time Gone um, that says an exclusive look from the next Ben Packard book. It's called Beneath a Broken Sky, and it will be out in May. Um, and then I have a contract for two more books after that, two more Ben Packard books after that. So there's plenty more Ben Packard could come.
Along with just, your three books in, what's, what has been surprising about being an author? Is there
Hmm.
anything that you found surprising or even going on book tour that's been surprising? Something you weren't expecting or people being weird or goofy, which could be, I don't know, it's fine.
I think that one of the most surprising things for me is, I mean, prior to this, I had no interest in promoting my books. I had no interest in doing events. I had no interest in talking in front of people. I'm pretty introverted and a shy person. But through this whole experience, I've really kind of been pushed out of my comfort zone by my publisher and my publicist who says, yes, you are doing events. We don't care what you want. And now it's my favorite part of the job. I love going to bookstores. I love talking to people about my books and meeting people. And um, they've just been more successful than I ever dreamed for myself. And the fact that anybody is interested in my books or wants to talk to me or wants me to sign a book it's all just amazing to me. And I'm loving every minute of it.
That's so exciting. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm also an introvert as well, but I would that sounds really fun. Going to different bookstores, going to different events.
It is. Yeah, I was terrified. Like the launch for my first book, I tried to cancel it at the last minute. I was like, I don't want to do that. I had an event the next night with four other authors, and
Oh,
there's going to be 150 people there. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that either. Cancel everything. And they were like, nope, you're doing it and you're going to like it. And so it's been a real growth experience for me.
that's wonderful. No, that's great to have really come full circle
Yeah.
and so you go to different bookstores a lot. Is there, I mean, maybe this is a mean question, but is there, aside from the Minnesota bookstores, is there a favorite bookstore you've come across outside of Minnesota?
Hmm. Um, a couple, I've been to Iowa a few times. Some of my favorite bookstores in Iowa are Prologue Books and Wine in Charles City and Swamp Fox Books in Cedar Rapids. I was just in North Carolina all last week and we went to Bookmarks, which is a big bookstore in North Carolina. Um, we went to Cleary's, we went to Page 158. These are all really amazing bookstores. Um, Mysterious Galaxy in San Diego, I got to go to. Well, and I have to mention Poison Pen in Arizona. That's an amazing. They started my I'm on Poison Pen Press, which was started by the Poison Pen bookstore in Arizona, and then they sold it to Source Books. So it's kind of fun to go back to where it all started.
Is
Yeah.
there anything else that you're going to write about or anything you want to venture into?
Um, so one thing that I have coming up is I wrote a Ben Packard Christmas story. And I'm gonna post it. I'm doing like a little experiment in self-publishing and seeing if people would pay a couple bucks for a Ben Packard Christmas story. So it's gonna be on my website in a couple of weeks. And I've also have a friend with a printing company, and he's printing up some chapbooks for me, which so there'll be actual like a physical copy of it if people want a signed little chat book, or otherwise there'll be like a PDF or an EPUB that you can send to your Kindle. Um, so I'm really excited about that. A lot of people love Ben Packard's mom in the third book, and she's in the Christmas story. So I think people who've read the books will enjoy the Christmas story. And I'm writing the fifth Ben Packard book now. I'm hoping to have a first draft by the end of the year. And then I'm going to write a standalone that has nothing to do with Ben Packard, and we'll see how that goes. I don't even know if I know how to write about anything other than Ben Packard, but we're about to find out.
Well, that's exciting. I'm excited to hear a Christmas story and then anything else that you have in the arsenal going. That's very
Yeah, I'm excited. I love writing these Ben Packard books, but I've had a couple ideas for other books, and I'm excited to take some time and see if what else I have to say.
absolutely. Is there what made you become a writer? Let's talk a little bit. How did this start?
I mean, that was the dream since I was a little kid. I was a very bookish kid. I was a very indoor kid. Um, I read my first Stephen King book when I was 11 years old, and that was the light bulb moment for me. I was like, this is, he was like the first person I recognized as a writer and the first person whose books I picked up because of the name on the cover. Um, and I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I don't want to just read books. I want to write books. And I was an English major in college. I got half of an MFA in creative writing. Um, and then for a long time, I didn't do anything. I didn't write anything. I was kind of in my 20s, late 20s, early 30s, and going out all the time and screwing around. And um, finally, I was like, hey, this was always the dream, to be a writer, to write a book. Are you going to actually write anything or are you not? And I finally kind of sat down and I thought I had maybe I had an idea for a book and I just kind of kept plucking away at it. And about a year, 2 years later, I had a, a novel written and it was the worst thing ever. And um, but I knew at that point that I could write a novel. It seemed kind of impossible, like an impossible feat to write a novel at that point in my life. But then I realized it just takes a little bit of work every day. A few words every day adds up to a novel over time. And so then I wrote another book and it was also terrible. And then I wrote the book that became A Long Time Gone, and There He Kept Her. And then the rest was history.
And here we are,
Here we are.
3 books in. That's very cool that you saw yourself as a writer back then. And
Yeah,
now,
I was a weird kid. I mean, I don't think most kids would want to grow up to be writers, but that was that was the dream for me from the beginning.
it's wonderful. Well, I always pictured myself doing like this. And this happened too. I don't know how many, I was a weird kid too. So
You always wanted to be in media and interview people, and
definitely. Yeah. I always pictured myself with the headphones and a microphone
wow, and you did it.
and I did it. Still have another job. Still have a completely different, unrelated job, but
Right.
you gotta start somewhere. But
Absolutely.
what are you reading right now? Is there anything that's standing out? Anything you can talk about?
Um, I was just on tour with Roan Parrish and Lo Patrick. Lo Patrick is a writer from Georgia, and I'm reading her book, Fast Boys and Pretty Girls, I think it's called. It's incredible. It's really, really good. I have like 15 pages left, and I can't wait to finish it. And I think I'm going to read Roan's book next. It's called The Haunting of Edgar Lovejoy. It's like a queer haunted house romance. I really loved hearing her talk about it when we were on tour together last week. It sounds really good. Um, and I'll plug my fellow Minnesota author, Mindy Mejia. I just read her third book in her Iowa series, The Whisper Place, and it's the best book of the series so far. They've all been great, but this is the best one. And it just came out a month and a half ago. Um, and Mindy's amazing. So she's she's great if you haven't read her. She's got 6 or 7 books now that you can look up.
That's great. Thank you so much, Josh, for your time today.
Of course. Thank you for having me on your inaugural show. I'm honored.
Thank you. I'm so excited for the next Ben Packard book. And now, actually, after us talking, I just want to read the books again. So,
Perfect. Thank you.